For self-reflection.
Why did we buy this house? Why are we doing any of this?
Yeah.
We just hit bottom.
We've been struggling the past few weeks. We've really been working hard to try and keep up with everything between the house, YouTube, work. But we're going to get to that. First, we want to show you some things that we did complete this week. And the first one is here on our front door. We have the molding completed around the top of the curve of the door. Our contractor put this in. It's a curved piece cut out of wood, and then we still need to sand some areas, do a little wood filler, and then prime and paint this. I also want to show you the front of this door because we had the trim done out there. Out here we showed you this a few weeks ago, how we had this whole wall and all of this trim and molding repaired and restored because it was all rotten. And as you can see, this curved part was made out of rubber, and now that it's been out here for a couple months, it started to crack. So our contractor is going to have to take this off, and he's going to redo it, I think, in wood. So once we have that done, we'll show you the new version of this molding. And I scraped paint here, here. I also scraped paint here, and here, and here, and here, and here.
What a mess.
I've been busy down in the basement where I belong. I primed that wall, dry locked that wall, and that one.
We've also spent a lot of time over the last couple months priming these walls. You've seen in our previous videos that we had to take out a lot of the walls and ceilings during our demo, so after that was done and before we could start priming, we had to have drywall installed.
Yeah, we went with the blue board for areas that were prone to leaking because this is the most mold resistant drywall. You might remember this corner had a severe leak in it, and it was so exciting to get fresh new drywall put in. After we had the leak repaired. This was one of the first rooms that we had to go to the studs, and now the walls and the subfloor have both been replaced. Pretty much every wall in the house has a new piece of drywall somewhere attached to it. Once all the drywall joints were taped, we were able to start priming. We're here working late at the casa. The plaster people are coming to finish the ceilings. They've installed the drywall and they've finished the seams of the drywall, and then they'll be coming back sometime in the next couple days to finish up. So before they do that, we are priming everything. Yeah, using odor blocking primer, trying to get some of that old smell out.
Yep, and this is the drawing room, the formal living room with our fireplace. And this is the room that has the cove ceilings, and it also has this super textured plaster walls. So it's a little bit harder to paint. So we have, our rollers have a really heavy nap to help get in all of the nooks and crannies of the textured wall.
The texture, we were told, came from when they applied it, they literally threw the plaster on the wall. That's how they did the final coat of the plaster. So it's very uneven. Nothing looks the same at all. There's no formality to any of it. Some spots are heavy, some spots are a little light, because it's just how they did it. They just threw the plaster up on the wall.
So we're gonna throw some primer up on the wall and hope it sticks.
Yeah.
This renovation has taken a lot longer than we thought it would.
As the months have turned into over a year, we continue to work on this house to make it our home.
But we can't help but wonder, are we past our prime?
With all the ups and downs of our renovation, we have actually been starting to feel a little past our prime.
Yeah, physically, because usually Sunday night I get home, or we get home, and first thing out of my mouth is I wish I was 10 years younger, maybe even 15 years younger. And that's starting to take a toll now, a year into the renovation. So we want to make this video to remind ourselves why we got started and why we took on this project.
Why did we buy this house?
Yeah.
And why did we start a YouTube channel?
Yeah.
Did we buy this house, or are we squatters?
This is all a big scam.
Is this a movie set? I wish.
Why did we start a YouTube channel? And who's asking these questions? Us. We're asking them of our self-reflection.
This is like Q&A for ourselves.
I like that.
Yeah.
Welcome to our own Q&A.
Why are we doing any of this?
Yeah.
Why we bought this house. We were looking for a house, and Hal had had a house in the past, and I had been renting, and we'd never had a house that was ours together.
Yeah. And I liked my house, but it was a little bit small. The lot was kind of small. There were things that we wanted to do that we just couldn't do in that house. I wanted a bigger garage, a bigger lot to plant a garden.
Mm-hmm. We actually made a list of all the things that we wanted in a house after missing out on a few houses that we had looked at that we really loved, and we got outbid. We made this list, and some of the things on it were we wanted an older house with vintage character. Hal wanted a garage or a workshop where he could do his upcycling, woodworking projects. I wanted an art studio, and we wanted a big yard for the dogs, and also so we could start our garden. Didn't I even tell you that we were going to find this house?
Yeah.
And so about a week before we found this house, we had made this list, and I said, I bet it's going to be a house that we've driven by many times, and it's right here in our hometown, and we've just never noticed it for whatever reason. And not a week later, we pulled up to the gates of this house and
Didn't even notice it.
yeah, we didn't even notice it.
Because it was covered in trees.
Yeah, so you can go back to our first episode and see how that happened. But when we did realize that there was a house in here, hidden under the vines and everything, we instantly fell in love with it. Once we got to know the house a little bit more through the process of figuring out who the owner was, how we were going to be able to purchase it since it wasn't for sale, all those things, we realized that it really did check all of the boxes on that list that we had made for the house that we wanted to have together.
Positivity. Yeah, definitely. And I think that list is what keeps us going. Even with the bad roof on the garage, I have already replaced half of it. I've got to do the other half. But I still like it. It's still kind of my sanctuary. I was doing projects out there this week. I just really like being out there in the basement. Now I'm trying to get that organized, get it smelling a little fresher. Got a dehumidifier down there. Thinking about maybe putting a little AC unit just to keep the air circulating.
Mm-hmm. And for me, it's the studio, because I've had different studios in houses before, usually a spare bedroom or the dining room or something like that. But I've never had a space that really feels like an art studio. And when I first saw the studio space in this house, that it used to be a porch, so it's, filled with natural light. It has those pretty arched windows all around. I just really can't wait to be able to move into that space and start painting again, because while we've been painting a lot of walls and things like that, there are a lot of things that we've put on hold during this project. So for about a year and a half, there's a lot of creative things that we normally would be doing that we've kind of sacrificed during this time so that we could make this house our home.
Yeah.
So we never really intended to start a YouTube channel in the beginning. We were filming everything because we wanted to make videos for ourselves, like home videos, and be able to share them with our friends and our family who were asking all about this house. And it was a really interesting story how we found the house and were able to purchase it. So we definitely wanted to document all of that. And we're really glad that we did now, because just last night we were rewatching one of our older videos, and a lot of the things that we went through in the beginning we've completely forgotten about because it was so hot. It's
just a lot to take in. This house was full of antiques, and a lot of them needed special care. It was, we had to breathe through respirators for the first few months we had the house.
It was completely overwhelming.
Yeah.
It all seemed really exciting in the beginning, but then when we actually got in here and we were doing the work in July and August with no AC.
Wearing respirators and trying to wear the suits, but that didn't last long.
And as we mentioned, we're not in our 20s or 30s.
Yeah, we are not as young. Maybe getting a 2-story house was a mistake.
I think it's okay for now. But yeah, we definitely felt tired throughout this whole year, really. And something else that we learned that we didn't realize in the beginning is that as many plans as we make, because we've never taken on a project this big, I think we were kind of naive in the beginning, thinking we could make a list and, our plans would go as we thought they would. But
yeah, the biggest thing is the time. Like, I get here sometimes early before Kristen gets here, and it's like, okay, I've got 2 hours. I'm going to get this, and this done. And by the time I find the paint scraper, 2 hours have gone by. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, what was I doing?
Well, and not to mention that almost every time that we start a project, something happens so that we have to shift gears and work on something else that is more important, more time sensitive.
Yeah, we're scraping some paint and then it starts to rain and inside the house.
Yeah, we see rain coming into the dining room, and so then we have to,
Well, we are working with a contractor doing some of the work, and so sometimes, he calls saying, hey, we're going to be there to do this and that, and so we've got to scramble to stop what we're doing and get that done before he shows up.
Yeah. I think that's a whole other video on things we've learned during this renovation, because
ramble.
Yeah, there's definitely a whole list of things we could talk about that might be helpful to other people who are going into a house renovation for the first time. So we'll make that a different video.
Especially if they're going to put it all on YouTube over 40.
Oh, right. That was the question. Why do we start a YouTube channel?
Yeah. Why did we start a YouTube channel over the age of 40? We're narcissists.
Because we're obsessed with ourselves?
No, we started shooting. Yeah.
We might be tired, but we aren't defeated. The advantage of taking on a project like this at our age is that our life experience has taught us resiliency. We've faced difficult times and challenges and survived, sometimes coming out better than we started.
This house is no exception. It was facing hard times. Neglect and the elements were wearing her down, but the hard work we're doing is bringing new life into this house, just as we at middle age are renewed by learning new things and getting plenty of exercise.
Though I'd like to work out in a gym. Restoring a house and starting a YouTube channel were accomplishments we didn't think we would be doing at this age. So in a long-winded manner, the answer to our question, are we past our prime, is no, and neither is this house. Literally, we still have lots more to prime. What do you think we'll be doing when all this is done? Like the house is done.
Reading, writing, painting, playing with the dogs, doing all the things we've been wanting to do all along.
Watch a movie all the way through.
Yes. Movie on a Saturday night. Although, this is the moment that I've been waiting for this entire time, because we're actually in here at night. It's not crazy hot.
A little bit hot.
It's a little warm. I'm wearing flannel, but it could be cooler. And we're only wearing our respirators because of the paint, not because
we have to. I mean, not because of the house or the mold or any of that stuff anymore.
Yeah, so this is like a turning point.
Yeah.
And to actually be able to paint these walls, because there have been so many issues with leaking and plaster cracking and other repairs that were preventing us from actually being able to just come in and paint the walls of the house we bought. Like having to put up new walls.
Yeah.
The new walls are finally here. So,
Yeah, everything's in. Now we're painting.
yay! All right, back to work.
What?
The cats will love it and keep the rats away.
The little snake.
That gross, dripping brown stuff. And it's like, I think it's like 80 years of nicotine
Ew.
dripping off the walls. I think that's what it is from smoking.
The smell.
No, the brown stuff that drips.
Oh, yeah. I know. I wish we could like pressure wash the inside of the house before we did this. Don't smoke pipes in your house.
Remember that friend of yours that had her neighbor, or a couple doors down, they pressure washed the inside of their house and then it blew up with mold and they cut all the walls out?
Oh, yeah. Oh my gosh, it's so stupid.
Finished up painting primer throughout this room.
And the other room over there, the front room. So we're gonna head home, wash our rollers, because we don't have a sink or water here at this house yet.
Nope. But then, and we just hit bottom of the can too, so we're all out of primer.
Yeah.
Anyway, so it's a good time to break. And now we will end.
We're gonna go home and edit some videos for you.
Thanks for watching Paint Dry.
To see more, like and subscribe.